Will Sami Zayn be taking the WWE Intercontinental Championship back to Monday Night Raw? Let's talk about it. I hope not. Done. You fucking asshole. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, back in your sub boxes, hopefully, motherfucker, with more Survivor Series news, the number one fucking source for WWE Survivor Series 2016 late-breaking news and rumors leading up to Fantasy Warfare on Sunday night. Yeah, Fantasy Warfare. Bill Goldberg already has a fucking blown shoulder, and he says his body feels terrible by throwing around indie wrestlers. What do you think Brock Lesnar is going to do to him? Are you kidding me? We'll talk about that tomorrow, though. Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about The Miz and Sami Zayn. All right? Obviously, a lot of people are upset. They wanted Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn at Survivor Series. I thought that would be the best match. I thought that would be a match that would pretty much steal the show at Survivor Series. And I wanted to see those two go at it, give them 20 minutes, even more than that. Let them have a match that would tear down Toronto, the whole city of fucking Toronto, that entire week. Man, that's what I wanted. But now we're getting The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn. A lot of people are wondering why. Why did WWE put the IC title back on The Miz? Well, with all the hype surrounding this historic 900th episode that we just seen of Smackdown Live on Tuesday, and it was centered around appearances from The Undertaker, Edge. We also had an Intercontinental Championship match, and that's exactly what WWE did. They made everything memorable, and they booked a rematch between Ziggler and The Miz for the IC title, and obviously, you guys know throughout the span of a couple of months that those two have put on some damn good fucking matches. They did it again on Tuesday night. I wish we would have been without at least two of the fucking 16 commercials that were shown in the match, but I enjoyed it for what it was. There have been countless iterations of the Ziggler-Miz rivalry over the years, but the post-brand split version in 2016 has arguably been their most compelling. Not only has the IC title been in the middle of it all, but it is also included. Now, we got The Miz's wife. Maryse is playing a big role in this entire thing. The reintroduction of the Spirit Squad. Ziggler's career hanging in the balance in that amazing match that should have headlined the last pay-per-view that they had. What was it? No Mercy? Should have been the last match on the show, no question. With the match that those guys put on, definitely. Several weeks ago, Ziggler took a page out of John Cena's book, issuing an open challenge for his Intercontinental Championship. In fact, seeing how Survivor Series would provide a battleground for brand supremacy, he laid out the challenge to anyone in the Raw locker room to face him at the upcoming pay-per-view on Sunday. But The Miz had other ideas. Now, backstage, there were a lot of internal back and forth going on in regards to how this particular angle would all play out. At first, WWE wanted to keep Ziggler's Survivor Series opponent a secret until the actual match. That was soon scrapped in favor of a qualifying match between Sami Zayn and Rusev. The idea there was to push Zayn and invest in his build-up, rather a short one. But then the writing team inserted Miz back into the equation, and as noted, The Miz challenged Ziggler for the title on Tuesday night at the 900th episode of Smackdown Live. Dolph Ziggler attempted to defend his Intercontinental Championship against The Miz in an opening contest that absolutely tore the house down on SmackDown Live 900. And after a flurry of activity, including interference from the Spirit Squad, it looked as though Ziggler would be able to overcome all the obstacles again, catching The Miz in a small package. However, Maryse, behind the referee's back, was able to give The Miz a shove that shifted the momentum of that small package in his favor, subtly pinning Ziggler, which was enough to secure a victory and reclaim his Intercontinental Championship. It would now be Miz and not Ziggler who would go on to defend the title against Raw's Sami Zayn at the Survivor Series. That was taken from WWE.com. The Miz now joins AA Jeff Jarrett. Remember that? JEFFJARRE Ha ha ha. You know? I like Jeff Jarrett, man, but obviously as he grew older and grew a little bit more mature, you know, I liked him a little bit more. That whole the WWE gimmick was just overwhelming, dude. The fucking glasses and the hat and the whole attitude. You know, he didn't come off as a legit guy to me with that. As he grew in TNA, and then obviously further on down his career, he grew into something that I could see him being legit. But that's just my opinion on Jeff Jarrett. RVD. So Miz joins Jarrett, RVD as WWE superstars who have held the Intercontinental Championship 6 different times. Jericho, of course, holds the record with 9 title reigns, but according to Cage Side Seats, the Miz's 6th championship reign is not expected to last very long at all. As reported last week on Off the Script. You guys know what that is, right? #1 podcast in your subscription box is right here on YouTube.com. Now, we discussed this, that there's going to be a swap. Okay? I discussed that Zayn possibly is going to take the IC title to Raw, which makes no sense. I mean, nothing on Monday Night Raw makes sense, so why not? Why not fuck it up even more? And that the cruiserweights, which WWE Raw have pretty much abandoned and fucked up, they're going to be going over to SmackDown, being that 205 Live is going to be taped with SmackDown. And it's going to air on the network at the end of November. So that's the plan right now, okay? So WWE's planning, or at least was planning, they still very well may be planning to swap 2 titles at Survivor Series. The cruiserweights are expected to move to SmackDown after Kalisto defeats Brian Kendrick. And the IC strap appears to be headed to Raw thanks to a Sami Zayn victory. Now, I mentioned on my SmackDown review, I would not be surprised if they add Ziggler to this match again, you know, in a last-minute decision, pre-show decision. You know, Ziggler's got nothing to do now. How are you going to keep Dolph Ziggler, who's been such a great piece to SmackDown? How are you going to keep him off Survivor Series? I don't get that. You know, Rusev is not even on Survivor Series. So I would not be shocked if WWE changes this entire thing, you know, puts Ziggler in this, makes it a triple threat, that Stephanie says, whoa. You're going to have 2 SmackDown guys going against 1 Raw guy. We're going to add Rusev to this. We're going to make it a fatal 4-way. Fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental. I would not be surprised to see that because, well, it's already a 4-hour show and they're loading this fucking show up, right? They got Shane McMahon on there. They got Fantasy fucking Warfare. Why are you going to leave Dolph Ziggler off Survivor Series? I just don't get it. So I would not be surprised if this turns into a triple threat or a fatal 4-way on Sunday. Last minute decision. You know how WWE likes to make last minute decisions. They'll fucking make a stipulation 20 minutes before the match actually starts. Meanwhile, we've been given this and this and this for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? We're expecting something and then WWE just, all right, we're going to do this now. You know? I would not be shocked. The decision to put Miz over Ziggler on SmackDown Live was made. Now, this is important. It was made so that Sami Zayn could take the title off The Miz and not Ziggler in what would be a more defined babyface versus heel dynamic. I didn't know we needed a babyface versus heel dynamic. Why? You mean it's not necessary? I mean, Zayn and Ziggler were going to. I would have put money on it that they were going to tear the house down. You know? It's all about the title. It's all about the title. It doesn't matter. You know? People are going to see this. Ziggler holding the title, walking into Survivor Series, defending the title in an open challenge, right? Sami Zayn, you know, he's Canadian. They're going to go crazy for him anyway. So Dolph Ziggler going into this might have been the heel by default anyway. You know? You got Sami Zayn, who is Montreal. And obviously they're going to be cheering for their home guy. And Ziggler's walking in here, the American. They might boo him out of the fucking building. Who the fuck knows? You know? But now we won't ever know because they took this opportunity away from us. But again, I would not be shocked if Ziggler is added or Rusev is added to this match to make it a triple threat or a fatal 4-way. But I wanted Ziggler defending the honor of the Intercontinental Championship against a fighting man like Sami Zayn. That would have been great. You know? the trials and tribulations that Dolph Ziggler had to go through to get this title. By putting his fucking career on the line. I mean, he took a huge risk, and it paid off. He got the title. Now he's issuing an open challenge to anybody on Monday Night Raw, and up steps Sami Zayn, a guy who's got this underdog mentality, man. He's going to go down fighting no matter what. I love that dynamic. What was wrong with that dynamic? Why do we have to have a heel Miz who has absolutely nothing to do with Sami Zayn, right? You gave him the title, and then you're going to take it off of him? Why? You're padding the Miz's stats undeservedly, and you're flip-flopping the title back and forth. I don't like that. I would have much rather, if you wanted the title to go to Raw, which makes no sense, keep it on Ziggler and have Zayn beat Ziggler in a match that's going to be one of the best of the year. Don't get why they changed that. And what sense does it make to put the Intercontinental Championship on Monday Night Raw? There is no mid-card. What mid-card is there on Monday Night Raw? Darren Young? Sin Cara? Who the fuck you got over there? Nobody. Everybody that should be in a mid-card role is in a main event role. Braun Strowman, main event. Jericho, main event. Right? You got Kevin Owens as the Universal Champion. Might as well be fucking mid-card. You don't treat him like a main event. Roman Reigns is supposed to be a mid-card. He's the U.S. Champion. He's in the main event. Who else they got? Who else do they got? Neville? Is he still employed? Is he still employed? I don't know. Jack Swagger moved over to fucking SmackDown. Mark Henry? Titus O'Neil? Who do you got over there? You're bringing another mid-card title to Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, you can't even book the mid-card title you have over there now correctly. What sense does that make? Zero. But this is Monday Night Raw. They don't give a fuck if they make sense or not. Remember, everybody that wants to call me negative and fucking, you know, all he does is bitch and moan and complain. Oh, wrestling is fake, man. What? Come over to fucking Logic Island with me, please. Who actually thinks the Intercontinental Championship belongs on Monday Night Raw? Then you got the fucking assholes. Oh, yeah, we gotta add more titles. SmackDown will just add another title. Maybe a television title. Maybe I'll fucking shit your pants title. Right? The hardcore title. How many more titles you need? Your entire company is filled with titles that don't mean a goddamn fucking thing. Yet you want to add more fucking titles to it. What? Worry about the titles you have now. What is the mid-card on SmackDown going to fight for? Are they going to go for the Cruiserweight? What are you going to have Bray Wyatt go for the Cruiserweight Championship? Huh? You're going to have Baron Corbin go for the Cruiserweight Championship? Unless you plan to move Cruz and Corbin and all these other fucking guys, right? Wyatt to the main event. They're going to be challenging for the world title, but I mean, going into WrestleMania, I doubt those guys are going to be fighting for the world title. This is all fucked up. All fucked up, man. WWE doesn't know what they're doing. They're adding 2 mid-cards, so that'll be Universal Championship, U.S. Championship, Intercontinental Championship, Tag Team Championship. Why did you have a brand split? Looks like to me, WWE doesn't even want to have a brand split. Because if you're going to take all the titles, you're taking all the titles that were in the company. All the main titles. You just replaced they have a world champion. They replaced the WWE champion on Raw with a Universal champion. So they got a world champion, a U.S. champion, an Intercontinental champion, a women's champion, and a tag team champion. It's like they don't even have a brand split. The whole reason for the brand split was to split everything. Some titles go over there, some titles go over here. Now WWE has nothing but newly created titles and the WWE title on SmackDown. They got the WWE title, the Cruiserweight title, the Tag Team title, which they had to create for SmackDown, and then the Women's Championship. If you think, I love the Cruiserweights, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to do phenomenally on SmackDown. But if you think that's an even trade, you got to be out of your fucking mind. You got to be out of your mind. I would rather the IC title stay on SmackDown. You have a fucking situation where Zayn loses and Stephanie gets fucking pissed at him. She banishes him from Raw. He says, you know what? Fuck this shit. And there's some internal struggle going on. Get him over to SmackDown. You know, maneuver his contract somehow. Bargain a trade. Something. Get Zayn on SmackDown. Keep the IC title on SmackDown. And get the Cruiserweights on SmackDown. Will that happen? Of course not. Because that's too smart for WWE. That's too much logic for WWE to handle. But I think it's honestly coming back to Monday Night Raw. And then at that point, I'm just going to fucking shit all over it. And I'm going to show you exactly why this, like I said, was a failure from the get-go. Talking about the brand split. Doesn't make any sense. So, WWE clearly has intent on the crowd popping for a championship change at the pay-per-view, and pitting two babyfaces may have split the crowd. I just mentioned to you that Ziggler going into this was probably going to be default heel, even though he's not. Zayn is a hometown guy. They're going to be cheering for him, just like it would have been with Hogan and The Rock. You know? The Rock, the cocky fucking guy, Hogan. You know, Hogan's not Canadian at WrestleMania, but WrestleMania was in the Sky Dome when they went one-on-one. It would be like that type of dynamic. Not as crazy, but you guys get my point. Now, they were afraid that the crowds were going to be split, who had, and especially with Zayn, who has gotten lost in the shuffle since separating from Kevin Owens, and to a lesser extent, Chris Jericho. Briefly feuded with Braun Strowman before that. Two seem to be scrapped. That's pretty much out the window right now. Capturing the IC title will boost his relevance. Ugh, can't even fucking speak. Relevance. But it will be interesting to see how Raw handles having two mid-card titles on the same show. It's not going to work. Keep in mind, however, that both shows have been teasing the idea of roster trades, a lot of which have been centered around both Sami Zayn and The Miz. The Miz cannot go to Monday Night Raw. The Miz cannot go to Monday Night Raw. He will be swallowed up by that fucking disgusting disease. His stock will easily fall from where it is right now to fucking right back where it was before he was fucking on this Raw. He will be absolutely fucking meaningless on Monday Night Raw. Meaningless. The Miz, Ziggler, and Zayn. Smackdown. IC title. Smackdown. Cruiserweights. Smackdown. Hey, Raw, you got talent that you're not using. You know, where's Neville at? Use him. Use him. You got people that you're not utilizing, meanwhile we're seeing the same fucking faces every single week. Just like Daniel Bryan said on that State of the WWE Union address. You guys got people that want to come over to our brand because wrestling is number one. Meanwhile, how many new stars have we created? A lot. Or at least more than Raw anyway. It might not be a lot, but it's more than Raw. And how many guys have you created coming out of this brand split? How many wrestlers have you really gotten on your roster and took advantage of the brand split? None. None. Imagine that. Monday Night Raw not doing what the brand split was supposed to do. Go figure. Unbelievable, man. This is going to be one of the... This is probably... This could shake the foundation of the company. Never mind a fucking fantasy warfare or brand supremacy. Who gives a fuck? This is altering your fucking rosters. Making sense of your rosters. This needs to remain on SmackDown. I don't care how you do it. It needs to happen. Zayn needs to be on SmackDown. The Miz needs to stay. The Miz's career needs to be on SmackDown. Otherwise, this guy might as well fucking call it quits. Done. He will never. And I'm telling you this right now. Fucking bookmark this video. The Miz, I swear to God. I hope I'm wrong on it. I really do. One of the few situations in which I hope I'm wrong. If The Miz goes to Monday Night Raw, he will never be the same ever again. Done. You think you're going to be seeing The Miz you're seeing right now? He'll be fucking done. Absolutely done. So that's what I got to say about that. And those are the backstage details on the decision to put the IC title on The Miz. WWE's logic behind why they gave it to him and now booking him against Sami Zayn at the Survivor Series. What they got going on with the swapping of the titles back and forth between both shows. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And let me know what you want to have happen. If you guys got a great booking idea for this, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up, and I will be back with more breaking Survivor Series news and rumors leading up to Sunday's big event on the network all weekend long. I'm JD. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow, as always, with Off the Script. Talk to you guys later.